I'm going to be sharing about the number 70. So I got this from, it's called the Moshiach Times. It's a publication. In the month of Nisan, which is like Aries, 5784, number 70. Once every 70 years, the Kohanim, the priests, would clean out the shulChan, which is the underground pit where the wine and the water poured on the mizbeach, the altar, would gather. The basin brought by the leaders of the tribes for the Mishkan, which was a tabernacle, weighed 70 shekel. That's from devarim, Deuteronomy. Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah said a court that executed a person once every 70 years is called a destructive court, from the Talmud Makkot 7a. To produce superior grain for flour offerings in the temple, the wheat was planted 70 days before Passover. That's from Mishnah Menachos 85a. 70 is the age a carob tree bears fruit. Shlomo HaMelech, King Solomon's throne, had 70 chairs for the 70 elders of the Sanhedrin, which is the high court. There are 70 names for the Torah. That's from Baal term on Deuteronomy 6:4. Devarim. If a person says Mem, Amen, Yehei Rabba, with full concentration, a decree of 70 years will be torn up and he'll be given added years of his life. There are 70 physical defects that render an animal treif or non-kosher. That's from Rambam, Maimonides, hilchos, shechita, 10:9. Rav Huna wrote 70 Torahs in his life. It's from bava, basra, 14a. Torah is Sefer Torah, scrolls of Torah. When the Jews arrived at Elim, which is a location after crossing the Red Sea, they found 70 date trees where the 70 elders could teach Torah. That's from Beshalach, one of the portions of the Torah, chapter 15, verse 27. 70 bulls were brought as an offering to the temple on Sukkot, the festival of booths. The festival of huts. They brought blessing to all the 70 nations of the world. That's from Bamidbar, which is Numbers 29, 12 to 34. The rabbinical high court, the Sanhedrin, had 70 judges, and Moshe as the head. The holy city of Jerusalem, the site of the temple, is referred to by 70 names. That's from Bamidbar Rabba, Midrash, a commentary, 14:12. The sages teach that at 70 one reaches old age and the fullness of years. That's from the Ethics of the Fathers, 5:21, pirkei avos. David HaMelech, King David, was born in Beis Lechem, the location, in 2854. Pausing to say, doesn't that sound like it's in the future according to the calendar? Because we would say we're in 2024, but actually we're in 5784 according to the Jewish calendar, from when the first people were made. He was 10 generations removed from Judah, the son of Jacob, our father, and lived 70 years. The Rambam the Maimonides moved to Eretz Yisrael, the land of Israel, when he was 70 years old. Because a lot of people say, oh, Israel's only 70-something years old, but that's a state. We're not talking, the true story is about the land. The Heichal, in the second, the special place in the second Beis Hamikdash, the Holy Temple, measured 70 amos. Amos is like a measurement from the finger to like the elbow, approximately, depending on the person. It's a dynamic movement measurement from north to south. That's from middos 4:7. The Babylonian exile lasted 70 years. That's from yirmiyahu 29:10. Moshe was told by Hashem to gather 70 elders of the Jewish people to help him judge the people. There are 70 names for Hashem and 70 names for the Jewish nation. Bamidbar Rabba 14:12. Commentary. There's an obligation to rise for a person of 70 years or older, just as we rise for a Torah scholar. shulChan aruch, the code of law, YD, which I think stands for Yoredeos. 244:1. Anshe Shechem, the people of Shechem, gave 70 pieces of silver to Avimelech. From Judges, shoftim 9:4. Daniel prophesied in 9:24 that the second temple would be destroyed 490 years after the first, which was 70 times 7. 70 years were taken from Adam's life and given to King David. That's from Psalms 21:5. tehillim. Choni Hamagil slept for 70 years, during which time the Beis Hamikdash, the Holy Temple, was destroyed and rebuilt. That's from the part of the Talmud called Taanis 3:9. The people of Mitzrayim, of Egypt, cried for 70 days after Jacob, our father, died. Yaakov Avinu. That's from bereishis, Genesis 50, verse 3. In the world to come, the 70 prime nations of the world will all recognize Hashem as the one and only ruler of the world. That's from Tzefania, the prophet, 3:9. On the last day of Moshe's life, he taught the prophetic song of Ha'azinu, a poem of 70 lines. You can find it in Deuteronomy, devarim. The number 10 stands for how Hashem created the world with 10 sayings in 7 days, and 7 times 10 is 70. Shlomo Melech, King Solomon, built 10 extra menorahs, lamps, for the Beis Hamikdash, the Holy Temple, with 7 lights in each. So 7 times 10 is 70. That's from menachos 29a. The chilazon, a fish or a snail that was used for techeles, a special purple-blue dye, rises up from the sea only one time every 70 years. Menachos 44a. It's like a sea creature. Number 70 represents the completeness of a person's life. As it states, the span of our life is 70 years, from tehillim, Psalms chapter 90, verse 10. The sages state that 70 faces or ways to interpret the Torah, that there are 70 faces or ways to interpret the Torah. That's from the Tanya, written by chapter 1 on Bamidbar Rabba 13:15. Tanya is written by the Rebbe. Bamidbar Rabba is the commentary. In Haggadah, the Passover readings, we pass over what we talk about. We read how Rabbi Elazar ben Azariah said, "I'm like a man of 70 years old because 18 white hairs appeared in his beard, so that he could look wise enough to be the Nasi, the prince, the leader of the Sanhedrin, the court, the council." Jacob and Yaakov and Yosef, jointly donated 70 years of their lives to King David HaMelech, so that he could live. That's from the Zohar, from Rabbi Shimon Bar Yochai, in the Parsha, the portion of Vayishlach, which is of the book of Genesis. When I say portion, it's in one of the 5 books, but it's like a certain amount from inside. To match up all the 52 weeks of the year, or there's not exactly 52 weeks because we have a lunar calendar and there's sometimes a leap year. Anyway, in the Megillah, the Megillah Esther is the scroll, the story scroll of Esther, the queen, story of Purim. It came later, but it's added to the canon. We could call it the collection of all the Jewish writings, really. We say holy books. So in the Megillah, there are 70 psukim, verses from Haman, the evil one's promotion until his hanging. 70 members of Jacob's family went with him to Mitzrayim, Egypt. Yaakov. Shemot, that's in Shemos and Devarim 10:22. So that's Exodus and Deuteronomy. There are 70 psukim from 70 verses from the beginning of bereishis, Genesis, until Hashem cursed the snake. Moshe translated the Torah into 70 languages so that it could be learned by all the 70 nations. Deuteronomy 1:5, Devarim. There's a Rashi there. In Hebrew, the word for wine, yayin, equals 70, 10 and 10 and 50. Why? Because the letters in Hebrew are actually also numbers. The word for secret, sod, is 4, 6, and 10. I'm sorry, not 4, 6, and 10. 4, 6, and 60, which is 70. Also, so they say sometimes when wine comes in, secrets come out. Okay, Abraham was 70 years old when Hashem made his covenant with him at the bris bein absarim, the covenant between the parts. That's from Yevamos 6:12 of the Talmud. Before Nimrod led people to rebel against Hashem, they all spoke one language, Lashon Chodesh, the holy tongue, and there was peace between them. That's from Yerushalmi Megillah 1:9. When Hashem's voice came forth at Har Sinai, at the mountain of Sinai, it divided itself into 70 different languages. That's from Midrash Tehillim 69:6. It's an interpretation, a commentary. This shows that when wine goes... what I said before about the wine and the secret. So that's the idea that when wine goes in, secrets come out. And they say it in Hebrew, Nichnas Yayin, Yotzei Sod. Terach was 7 years old. Terach was Avram's father when his son Avram was born. But when Hashem saw that they were building... when Hashem saw that they were building the tower of... so going back, when everybody was speaking the same language, when Hashem saw that they were building the tower in order to fight against him, he made them speak 70 languages, and they all began to fight, and they left. And that's a great place for us to stop right now. I want to wish everyone a Chodesh Tov, which means a good month. It's a new moon, a happy new month of air, right? Shvat, Aquarius, big picture thinking, and just really connecting with our true desires, what we really want, and living through it, and not caring anymore about what other people think, and having more than enough, and true love, and good affection, and promise, and not promise, but like purpose, and hope, and meaning, and cashing in, and not having to work, but getting paid for our inventions and our ideas, and being healthy and strong, and surprises from wonderful people, and sharing praises of God with people who also love God, and respecting ourselves and loving ourselves, and not getting tripped up by perceptions. And I also wish everybody a good Shabbos. This is the video I'll have before the Sabbath, for Shabbos. Maybe a holy, beautiful Shabbos with redemption and the trust of God taking care of us and smiting the enemies who want to do harm. And reassurance, affection, and a sign, not just affection, warmth, and a positive regard, and unity and connection and laughter. Amen.